Hello, and welcome back to Curriculum Cafe, where content is key and education is our focus. Today we will be reading A Weekend with Wendell by Kevin Henkes. But first, let's learn more about the author. Kevin Henkes was born in 1960 and lived in Racine, Wisconsin. As a kid, Henkes was inspired by his favorite authors and illustrators, as well as the local art museum. In high school, he found a book for adults on illustrating called American Picture Books from Noah's Ark to the Beast Within by Barbara Bader. From there, he attended college at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where he studied children's literature. The following summer, he traveled to New York and found a job at Green Willow Books. Soon after, he published his first book. A Weekend with Wendell was the first book to include mice's characters, but this story led to many others. So now, let's read A Weekend with Wendell by Kevin Henkes. A Weekend with Wendell by Kevin Henkes. On Friday afternoon, Wendell's parents dropped him off at Sophie's house. "Wendell's going to spend the weekend with us," said Sophie's mother, while his parents visit relatives out of town. "Oh boy," said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. After a snack, Sophie helped Wendell carry his sleeping bag and suitcase upstairs. "Well, what are we going to do now?" asked Wendell. "Do you have any toys?" Sophie pointed to her toy chest. "Is that all you've got?" said Wendell. "I've got 1,000,000 times more than that. What else is there to do around here?" "We could play house," said Sophie. "Only if I can make the rules," said Wendell. So they played house, and Wendell made the rules. He was the father, the mother, and the 5 children. Sophie was the dog. Then they played hospital. Wendell was the doctor, the nurse, and the patient. Sophie was the desk clerk. When they pretended they worked at a bakery, Wendell was the baker and Sophie was a sweet roll. "Isn't this fun?" said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. At dinner, Wendell said that he was allergic to anything green, so he didn't have to eat his vegetables. And then, when Sophie wasn't looking, he scooped the whipped cream off her dessert. "When is Wendell leaving?" whispered Sophie. "Soon," said her mother. "Soon," said her father. After Sophie's parents tucked Sophie in her bed, zipped Wendell in his sleeping bag, kissed them both, and turned off the light, Wendell grabbed his flashlight and shone it right in Sophie's eyes. "See you tomorrow," he said, smiling. Sophie shut her eyes. "I can't wait for Wendell to go home," she said to herself. On Saturday morning, when Sophie woke up, there was a lumpy blue monster jumping up and down in her bed. It was Wendell. She felt something pinch her leg at breakfast. It was Wendell. She heard scary noises coming from the broom closet. It was Wendell. Wendell used Sophie's crayons and left them on the porch so they melted. At lunch, Wendell finger painted with his peanut butter and jelly. "Isn't this fun?" said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. "When is Wendell leaving?" whispered Sophie. "Soon," said her mother. "Soon," said her father. At bedtime, when Sophie put her head on her pillow, she heard something crunch. It was a note from Wendell. It said, "See ya tomorrow." Sophie shut her eyes. "I can't wait for Wendell to go home," she said to herself. Before Wendell's parents picked him up on Sunday morning, he tried to make a long-distance call. He wrote his name on the bathroom mirror with toothpaste, and he gave Sophie a new hairdo with shaving cream. "Want to go outside to help me wash this off?" asked Sophie. "We could play firefighter." "Oh boy," said Wendell. So they played firefighter, and Sophie made the rules. She was the fire chief. Wendell was the burning building. "Isn't this fun?" said Sophie. Wendell didn't say anything. "Do I get to be fire chief?" asked Wendell. "Maybe," said Sophie. Soon Wendell and Sophie didn't care who was the fire chief or who was the burning building. "Time to go," said Sophie's mother. "Time to go," said Sophie's father. "Already?" said Wendell. "Already?" said Sophie. "When is Wendell coming back?" asked Sophie. "Never," said her mother. "Never," said her father. That afternoon, when Wendell unpacked his suitcase, he heard something crunch. It was a note from Sophie. It said, "I hope I see you soon.